Call the joint Minnehaha County and City meeting to order tonight, and could we take the roll for the city, please? We have to, maybe we don't have to.
Council members Benega,
Present.
Brown,
Here.
Costello,
Here.
Jamison, Kavanaugh,
Here.
Knutson, Litz,
Aye.
Staggers.
Present.
Quorum present. Let's have the Pledge of Allegiance at this time. Please rise.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Let's start out here with the agenda item number.
And we have a quorum for the county.
Let's start with item number 1. Do we have this?
Item number 1 is a resolution approving a joint cooperative agreement for communication services between the City of Sioux Falls and Minnehaha County, South Dakota.
Mr. Mayor, Madam Chairman, Gary Caldwell, City Attorney, City of Sioux Falls. Before you is the joint cooperative agreement for communication services. What we are proposing, both the city and county staff, after many months of work, are some amendments to the joint cooperative agreement as it now exists. The purpose of these amendments are to streamline the process under which Metro Communications operates, and also to give as much flexibility to the Metro Management Council as possible to conduct the affairs of the agency. I think you all have a red line copy of the agreement, but if I could take just a brief period of time here and run through some of the major changes. There is, of course, some changes regarding language cleanup, et cetera, but the first major change you'll see is in Section 3.5 of the agreement. The original agreement provides that the Director of Communications serves at the discretion of Metro Council. This particular amendment would also provide that the Assistant Director and Business Manager are both appointed and removed upon the advice and with the consent of Metro Council. Again, these are two very critical positions in the operation of the agency, and the intent is to give Metro Communication Agency a say in the appointment or removal of these positions. 4.3 is another fairly significant amendment. The joint cooperative agreement as originally drafted gave the fiscal oversight and personnel management of the agency to Minnehaha County. That has since changed. We are working under a different format now, but what this language change to the joint cooperative agreement would provide is that Metro Council simply contracts for those services as it deems appropriate. The next major change, and again there are several changes here which are merely bookkeeping in nature. The next major change is found in 6.2, and this is a fairly significant change because the intent is that this agency, which is a standalone agency, operate as effectively and as efficiently as possible. We're proposing a language change that would provide that to the extent that Metro Council, only to the extent that there are cash reserves available within the agency, may supplement their budget and continually appropriates those cash reserves for that purpose. In other words, to the extent that there are supplements available, shortfall in cash is coming in, that the council has the right to use reserves to supplement, to alleviate that shortfall. And the final change, I think, changes that are significant are found out through the remainder of Section 6, which basically provide the financial procedures the agreed upon financial procedures under which the agency will operate. If there are specific questions, we have several people here who would be able to answer them for you.
Questions? Kermit?
Yes, Gary, I guess the first question I have is, the head of the Metro is the director. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So why do we want to undermine the authority of the director by saying that the Metro Council has to approve the assistant director and business manager?
The rationale is that these are two very critical positions to the operation of the agency. You will note that these are not at-will positions. They don't serve at the will of Metro Council, but it does give Metro Council a say in the appointment of these positions and/or their removal because they are so critical. That is not. That's very similar to the way that critical positions operate both in the city and county and in the state, and in some instances the county also.
Well, I guess really this is sending a bad message to the director. We don't really trust you. I guess that's what I'm very concerned about.
That was certainly not the intent of this language change. The intent was to have Metro Council as involved in as they could possibly be in the upper level management selection for the agency.
Gary, Section 5.2, membership on the Users Committee. Just a question about the thinking behind having the sheriff chair that as opposed to the police chief.
This language is the language that's already in the agreement. This has not been modified. Sheriff Milstead was instrumental in keeping Metro Communications afloat through some of its very difficult times, and frankly, because of his knowledge in this area and his expertise, we felt that it would be appropriate for the sheriff of Minnehaha County to chair the Users Committee.
Thank you.
Further questions?
I have one, Gary. In the fiscal operations, section 6, I know that the surcharge revenue used to be positive with the treasurer, and now it will go directly to the agency. Is there some provision for an accounting to the Metro Council as to the revenues? I know that we do have the budget issue above, but it doesn't. I'm not seeing any section, at least in Section 6, that provides for some type of an accounting to apprise the Metro Council of the dollars that are actually received.
That particular provision does not appear in the joint cooperative agreement. It does appear in the agreed-upon financial procedures, which I think were adopted by the agency. If I'm correct in that, Gene, correct me if I'm, yes.
So we do have, and what type of accounting will be done to us then in regard to those funds?
There's been a chart of accounts and accounting system set up already, and the accounting will be done on a monthly basis. There will be a monthly financial report that will come from the Metro Communications.
So we'll see that revenue stream on a monthly basis?
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Further questions?
Let's just go back to the issue that Kermit raises on 3.5. From being on the outside looking in, I mean, this was added for a reason, I would guess, and I guess I agree with Kermit. I think the director, if we have faith and trust in the director, he should have the power to put his own team in place, and I'm trying to figure out where in the county we would have a similar language as this, where the commission would have to act on it.
We have a treasurer and we have an auditor. One takes the money in, one spends it. It's a check and balance.
That's not the same at all.
It's a check and balance. In other words, there's an organization that I'm a part of, and the person deals with okaying and passing certain items that have to do with the money and is a direct employee of that organization, which means the person can't say no to something that is not reasonable.
I guess I would like somebody on the Metro Council to answer that question. I mean, I don't think that that's a good example.
Yeah, Carol, we brought this up last week, and there was some discussion at Metro Council about this. My understanding is that one of the reasons why this was implemented was that this is an independent agency, and it is neither a creature of the city nor a creature of the county. And so With that being said, the director ultimately has the say, but it is important to also get the input from both the county commission and the city council in regards to the administration of this particular group, because you have to remember this is a newly created independent agency.
In addition, I would say that the director will still be the primary person in charge of interviewing and selecting it. This is an advise and consent. We're a new budding organization, and we wanted to be as best informed, and maybe in the future that might change. But for the start, we thought that that was the most prudent way to act.
Further questions? Kevin?
I'm looking at red notes here that were prepared, I assume, by staff that says Section 2.6.2 gives the power to expend cash reserves to the Metro Council. City Finance will explain this provision Monday. I would love to hear an explanation of that.
For the record, the county commission does not have the red line version, so we do not have any of the comments. We have the underlying portion. So we can see the additions and the strikeouts, but we don't have anything else.
Okay, Gene Roanhorse, Director of Finance. The way the process will work is a budget will be developed by the Metro Communications, and that budget essentially will be divided up according to the terms and conditions of the Joint Powers Agreement, and that individual amounts that the county and the city will then pay into there will be appropriated by the county and by the city for their portions. There is a continuous appropriation provision in there that would allow, if there are excess funds in that to come in, they could be directed as the Metro Communications Board deemed appropriate until the next budget cycle.
So, if I could, Mr. Chairman, what has changed then is the ability for them to keep the unexpended funds at the end of a year?
Well, yeah, if you mean, are they going to pay it out to the city or the county, the way you deal with that is by adjusting your pay-ins the following year. So if there is an excess, you'd be able to reduce your pay-ins the following year. If you come up short, your following year is going to have to be increased.
So how does that differ from what we did this last time?
I don't think it differs a great deal.
Okay, I got the impression that there was something to be changed here in 6.2, so it's essentially the same as what it has been?
Yes.
Thank you.
Further questions? Others that wish to address the Joint Commission Council on this resolution of the joint agreement? Not, is there a city motion or questions?
Move for approval, Benninga.
Benninga moves. Is there a second? Jamison seconded. Further comments? Go ahead, Carl.
Yeah, I guess I've not got a convincing argument why we should have the Metro Council involved in the assistant director and business manager appointment and removal. That is clearly undercutting the director. If you don't like what's going on in Metro Council, then you get another director.
Okay, further comments? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to approve will vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Council members Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison? Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson? Sorry, Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
No.
All members present voted 6 yes, 1 no, and 1 excused. That has been approved on the city side.
Is there a similar motion on behalf of the county?
Motion to approve by the county.
Second,
Further discussion?
is this is a nonprofit organization? Rural Metro is a profit-making organization, and Metro Communications is a nonprofit, correct?
It's a governmental agency, yes, it would not
Thank
be
you.
a taxable entity. Further questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
That has been approved by Commission and the council. So now we're on item number 2.
Item number 2 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into Agreement 1 to the Joint Cooperative Agreement for the County Human Services City Health Center.
Good evening, Gordy Swanson, Deputy State's Attorney from Minnehaha County. The changes to the joint cooperative agreement between the city and the county and the Health and Human Services Center are largely I can summarize it by saying that they're largely intended to deal with operation of the building now that it has been completed and is being fully occupied. The old joint powers agreement dealt more specifically with construction and how we expected to share costs and expenses of that. This instead deals with costs and procedures for ongoing use of that building. And as I understand it, the move-in has occurred and things are going fine in that building. The final space allocation, it's roughly 3/4 city and 1/4 county. You may recall that the county incurred some additional expense with this building in order to make the footings adequate for the addition of another floor, if it comes to that. And of course, the agreement provides that if the county adds that floor, it does so at its own expense. And then the city's share of the operating expenses, not a Freudian slip, will decrease accordingly. So I'd be happy to field any questions about the revised joint agreement.
Questions of Gordy? Kermit?
Yeah, Gordy, I voted against this because I thought the city was getting a bad deal. I thought the city was paying 70%. Am I wrong? I thought initially it was 70% the city would pay for a county building. Now you're saying 75%?
That is for operating expenses,
Yeah.
Commissioner, and it's based, or Councilman, and it's based on the percentage of use of the structure by the city as opposed to the county.
Okay. But we paid, maybe I better get this clarified in my mind. We paid 70% of the building, didn't we?
I believe so.
For the county building, yes.
Well, it's a county building, Commissioner, but you might notice in this agreement, the city has a 99-year lease on the building.
I think it's over a 100-year lease, actually, when we took a look at the wording clearly, which is another bad deal for us.
Bob?
Councilman Snaggers might be aware that the county has an agreement for the juvenile detention center where counties have helped pay for the construction of the juvenile detention center and still pay for rent and use of the juvenile detention center for a long-term basis. So though the county will own the building, they paid for the construction and they still pay for the use, and they thought this was one H of a fine deal.
That would be heck.
I'm sorry that the county did that. Myself, I'm looking here, of course, on the city council, concerned about the interests of the city government of Sioux Falls. This is not a good deal for the city of Sioux Falls.
Further questions, Gordy? Others that?
I guess if I could just make a comment. I mean, I don't understand Kermit's position on this. I think that when, you know, we're turf building when we say this is not a good deal for the city of Sioux Falls. What this is a good deal for the citizens in this community because they can access the services of city functions and county functions within the same building at probably no additional cost than what you would be spending anyway. So to me, this is just a swell deal and a swell partnership.
Bob Litz.
Gordy, it's nice to hear how you really feel about us down here. I had a question here, and I thought I heard you right, that is this building set up for 1 or 2 stories, and if that should proceed, did I understand right that the county would be footing the bill for the construction?
Correct. It would be an entirely county bill, and it would reduce, and because of that additional floor, I think it's just 1 additional floor, isn't it, Judy? Oh, okay. It is 2 additional floors. And of course, if that happens, then the city's share, proportional share of the building would cut to way under 50% because of those 2 additional floors being exclusively purchased and operated according to the county. So your share would plummet, obviously.
Kermit.
Yeah, Gordy, can you clarify the parking lot situation? If I recall from memory, the city was going to pay 100% on that one. Is that still true?
On which deal?
The parking lot.
Oh, the parking lot for the Health
The
and
city-
Human Services building.
The city built that, or the city bought that property, demolished the Sportsman's Bar and the other building that was there, and I think the city did fund that entire cost of putting that parking lot up. The reservation of the spaces in the parking lot is a part of the overall county's parking plan, and that was frankly to accommodate requirements from city planning that the county's courthouse addition have a certain number of available parking spaces. So I think you're correct. The city
Yes,
did fully fund
100%.
the parking lot.
Further questions? Gordy?
Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to remind this council that with the parking lot and all the improvements over there, the city of Sioux Falls did run into some unexpected drainage costs on 4th Avenue because of the runoff on this. So I just wanted us to be cognizant of that as well when we go forward to talk about these issues.
We're very familiar with unexpected drainage costs for parking lots, but thank you.
We would have put a basement in if we would have known it was going to cost us so much just to put the first floor in, and having to take out all of the stuff that we found when we built that particular structure. So
We're very sorry, though.
Further questions? Not others that wish to address the Joint Commission Council on item number 2? Not. Is there council discussion, city council discussion or action?
Move for approval, Benninga.
Benninga moved. Is there a second?
Second, Litz.
Litz seconded. Further comments on that motion? See no further comments. All in favor of the motion to approve, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Council members Benega.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Costello.
Yes.
Jamison. Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Litz.
Yes.
Staggers.
No.
All members present voted 6 yes, 1 no, and 1 excused.
And for the county, is there a similar motion? Motion approved. Motion is second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes for the county, 5-0.
The old business, new business, is there a motion to adjourn from the city? So moved, James. James moved. Is there a second?
Second, Litz.
Litz seconded. All in favor of the motion to adjourn, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Same motion for the county?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Mary.
Council members Benega.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Costello.
Yes.
Jamison. Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Litz.
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
We are adjourned.
I would like everybody to be informed that the informational meeting will pick up again at 5:25 sharp.